Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of We Are the World Games. My name is Philipp Düring, and our guest today comes from Fistball. Please welcome our guest, Mateus Kuntzler from Brazil. Hi, Mateus.
Hi, Philip. How are you? I'm glad to be part of this interview. It's an honor to be talking with you today and with our telespectators of the Word Games community. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. It's great to have you here. And let us show the audience to introduce a short video of some of your best scenes. I edited this video for the Athlete of the Year campaign of the World Games in 2019. And when I did edit it, I was struck by how emotional you are on the pitch. And I wondered, of course, I saw only some highlight clips, but I wondered, are you always like that when you play Fistball?
Yes, it's always like that. I think people in Europe they aren't used to it, but in Brazil we play like that. We used to celebrate during the game so much, and it's really like that in Brazil. So I'm used to do that, and it's my way to play. Yeah.
Well, I have to say I've never been to Brazil, but it seemed to me that even for coming from Brazil, even for Brazilians, you're very emotional, I have to say.
Yes, maybe you're right. But I would say that people, even in other sports, not just in Fistball, people used to celebrate a lot in Brazil. I mean, and they are very emotional. That's a Brazilian thing. Not only a Brazilian thing, but also a Latin American thing. The Argentinian people are also like that, and so we used to do that. We used to yell a lot during the games, and that's a different way to play sports. We need to recognize.
Let's go to the beginnings of your career. I read that you started playing Fistball when you were 10 years old. Why did you choose Fistball? Did you have someone in your family playing Fistball?
No, not really. Actually, I chose Fistball because Fistball chose me. I lived near to the club, actually at the side of the club where Fistball is played here in my town, which is Novo Hamburgo. And when I was 10, I was in the club. We used here in Brazil, we used to go to the clubs to play when we are kids. And I was playing with my friends there, and one day the coach, André is his name, he asked me and my neighbors if we wanted to join Fistball, and then I started to play, and I never stopped. But at that time, I used to play judo. I mean the fight judo, and I used to play soccer, and then I stopped to play soccer, and I stopped to play judo, and I just kept playing Fistball, and here you are.
Yeah, it's great that you stuck with Fistball, and I bet. Well, there's something about you that's special, that you have two different arms, and
yes. Let me show it so that people can.
So, and I guess very many people, especially at the beginning, when you were still young, thought, well, this guy is not made for this sport. Can you tell us what your experiences were?
And I think it's very important to talk about it because many times people they are curious about my handicap, but they don't ask. So I think it's a very good opportunity to talk about it, and so that people can know about it. When I was young, when I was 10 and I started to play Fistball, nobody told me that I couldn't play, even my friends, and that was of great help because when I was young, when I was a kid, I never thought that I couldn't play. So I kept playing it, and uh, things started to go in the right way, and I just realized that maybe I was a little bit different when I was 15 or 16. I mean, of course, I knew that I don't have one arm, but I've never thought that it could be that it could be difficult for me to play baseball without an arm when I was a kid. And then when I was 15, I would say a great experience. I was 15, and then I was nominated to the under 18 national team. And the world championship would be in Colombia, in Cali, where the World Games was in 2013. It
That's
was
right.
a preparatory event for the World Games. And then when I was at the airport in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, a woman came to us, and she asked me what sport did I play. And then I explained what Fistball was. And then she looked at me, she stared at me, and she asked, but tell me what the others handicap. She thought it was a Paralympic sport. And then I explained, no, it's not a Paralympic sport. It's actually a sport that is played by people who don't have handicaps. And but I still play it, and she was a little bit amazing. I don't know, but it was a great experience. I mean, she didn't know that, and then she thought it was Paralympic.
Well, it's great to hear that you made good experiences with the people around you when you were young. But I wanted, well, with two different arms, you have it affects the balance in your body. Do you think you have like your own special style or technique of playing fistball?
I think I've developed a different technique to play it. Because of course my left arm is a little bit is not so big as my right arm, but I use my left arm while playing. So I've learned how to play with both arms, and I learned a way to use my left arm because I think that if I hadn't the whole left arm, then I couldn't play. And I can just play fistball because I've developed a way to play with both arms.
Um, you mentioned playing for the national team, for the national under 18 team. You've played a lot of time for the Brazil team by now. And what does it mean to you to play for your country?
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I always wanted to represent my country, and as a professional desire, I have a professional desire, which is to be a diplomat, and it comes from football because I always like to represent my country. I think it is a dream for each person in the world to represent its country.
What's interesting about Fistball that in the history it's a great rivalry between only very few countries. So there's and Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and also Brazil. And I think in the complete history of the World Championships, there has never been another team in the top three, except for these four countries. Can you say something about this the long-standing rivalry between these countries?
Yeah. So it has to do with Fistball's history, because Fistball was playing in the ancient Roman Empire, and then people started to play it in Germany. It came from Italy to Germany. I don't know exactly why, but then people started to play it in Germany, and then Fistball spread itself in these three Germanic countries, which are Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. And in 1824, Brazil got independent, and our queen came from Austria. She was a Habsburg, and then a lot of immigrants came from Austria to Brazil, and they were placed at the south border of Brazil because of security concerns. And then they were placed there, and then they started to play Fistball in Brazil. And then I would say Brazil started to play it. It was a very popular sport till the Second World War. And in the Second World War, Brazil declared war on Germany, and they couldn't play Fistball anymore, and they couldn't speak German anymore in Brazil. And then they were allowed to start to play Fistball again just after the World War, the Second World War. And then Fistball was played since then just in 6 or 7 clubs in Brazil. But these clubs, they have great structure, and that's why I think that Fistball in Brazil developed itself in a good way, so that we could match ourselves with these Germanic countries.
Yeah, you mentioned the clubs. You play for the club. I'm not sure whether I pronounced it right. Novo Hamburgo. Is it correct?
Yes, that's right. It's something like in German we would say Turnverein Novo Hamburgo.
And is this one of the traditional clubs in Brazil?
Yes. Actually, the name of the club was Turnverein Novo Hamburgo, but then after the Second World War, it changed its name, like the city. The city is named Novo Hamburgo, and then in the Second World War, it changed its name, and then after 20 years, it became Novo Hamburgo again.
With your club, you won the most important title in Club Fistball in 2018, and let's have a look at this video. We see the last seconds before the start of the match, of the final, and we see you here running to your position. How well do you remember this match?
I remember this match very well because it was my second World Cup final, but at my first World Tour or World Cup, it's the same in Fistball final. I was too young, and I was at the bench. I didn't was at I wasn't at the starting five, and we could say that it was my first final in this club championships.
You said you remember it very well. Yeah, just tell us about the atmosphere and this first final, how you went into the final.
It was actually a sensation because a surprise. I mean, we weren't expected to be at this final because, as you can see, our team was very, very, very young. I mean, I was 21 at or 22 in 2018, and I was one of the oldest guys in the team. My other mates, they were 18 or 16, so we weren't expected to reach the final. But then at the quarterfinals, we played against Funstad, against Patrick Thomas, and then we beat Funstad 3-0, and then we got to the semifinals. We won the semifinals, and then we played against Vilgotinga in the final.
Do you still play in the with the same players now?
Yes, I play exactly with these players.
Yeah, we saw the beginning. Now we jump to the end of the match. So we see that you're only a few points from victory, and I guess pressure was getting higher and higher. How do you react to pressure? Do you like it to play under pressure, or do you think it makes you nervous?
I think that I always play under pressure. I would say because I always feel nervous when I'm play before I'm playing, and also when I played. So it's a normal sensation, a normal feeling, I would say. So I think that I needed to learn how to deal with pressure, but I don't know if I can say I like it to play under pressure. But as we are used to it, I can say that it's a normal situation. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult.
After the match, there was an interview with you, and you could really see how the pressure was going away from you. Well, maybe we'll see that later as well. And so, will you continue to play with your club, or for the next years, or do you think about maybe going to another club?
No. We in Brazil we don't used to change clubs, but in Europe people used to do that. But in Brazil, no. I continued to play with Novo Hamburgo in 2019, and then we were runner-ups at the World Tour final. Then Funstad beat us in 2019, but I still play for Novo Hamburgo. But I plan to play in Austria again because I have already played in Grieskirchen, which is a club in Austria, in 2017, but just for a season, and then I came back to Brazil, and I plan to do that again because I really like to play in Europe. It's also a great atmosphere, but I still play in Novo Hamburgo.
This can be the decision. The crowd is waiting for Novo Hamburgo. And there he is, Novo Hamburgo is the winner of the new World Cup format. Oh my God. And they are celebrating so hard. And I can understand.
What is going on here? This is insane. Novo Hamburgo is the winner of the IFA Fistball World Tour 2018. This young team, they have only young players in their lineup, except Mateus Kuntzler, the captain. He's still lying on the field. Now he's celebrating with the others. What a team effort.
Mateus Kuntzler, der Weltpokalgewinner 2018. Die Frage ist eigentlich verpönt, aber wie fühlt es sich an?
Ich kann das nicht erklären. Ich meine, es hat einfach geklappt. Das Ziel war in 2020 Weltpokalsieger zu werden, aber wir haben uns durch den World Tour Finale qualifiziert und dann haben wir im Januar die Vorbereitung angefangen und es hat geklappt. Ich meine, wir sind alle ganz jung, wir waren jeden Tag im Fitnesstraining und wir hatten Zeit, um zu trainieren und es hat einfach geklappt.
So we just saw this final from 2018 and you came back the following year and were again, made it again to the final. And this time you lost to Funkstedt, I think. But you personally, it was still a success because you were nominated, not only nominated, but awarded the MVP. So how was this for you?
It was one of the greatest feelings in my life because I was playing in the middle of a lot of good players, a lot of very good players like Patrick Thomas, like my teammates, and like the guys from Austria from Wroclaw. And I realized that all the training was worth, and that Fistball is a magic thing.
And what did this make with you? Is it more like, okay, now I made it, I'm the MVP of the most important Fistball tournament, I can relax now? Or is it more like, okay, I have to become even better? How is that for you?
I thought I became a little bit more confident in my style of playing. But I think it was something like a reward because of all my years training hard. But I don't think that I need to be even better. I think that I can be even better. And that we can always improve. But it's not a must, I would say. I think that...
It's interesting that you said it made you more confident. Sounds like it made you better, not in like a technical playing way, but more in a psychological way.
Yeah. Because I think that I was always a little bit doubtful about my technique and about my way of playing, and that was a way to make me confident, to make me more trustful about my style and also in a psychological manner.
Is this something that made you train very hard during the early years when you were younger, that you felt maybe not so confident like others?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that we had some difficult years before 2018 and 2019 in terms of results. In 2013, I was very young. I was 16, and I played with older guys. And these guys, they were amazing. They played very well here in my club. And they stopped playing, and a new generation came. And then in the first 3 years, we used to lose a lot. And things just got better in 2018. So when you lose again and again, you lost your confidence. Yes. And that's why I think that some results when they come, they can help you in a way to render you more confident.
In the big sports like football, they have lots of psychologists and mental coaches and everything. How was it in Fistball and with your club? Is this a job that the coach did, or do you also have a mental coach, or is this something that the team, the players did themselves?
No, we had a mental coach, and She began to work with us in 2018, in January 2018, and we were World Cup winners in April 2018. So I could say she did a good job.
This is something that I personally find very interesting. Could you explain a bit what did she do? How did she work with you?
She worked in a manner. She worked in a way to render us more confident. I mean, we were all so young, and as we weren't used to victories, she started to work with our losses. Yes, and she prepared us not only for the loss but also for an hypothetical win.
How often do you train per week? Do you go to practice every day or once or twice a week? Because I guess you're not professional Fistball players, but all of you have a job or go to university.
Yes, exactly. We are not professional players. So it depends on the time of the year, on the season. At this year, we were training 4 times a week, but we always went to the fitness training, to gym. So, but if you consider training with ball and playing Fistball, we were training 4 times a week.
Actually, this would have been the time where the World Games should have taken place, but of course they were postponed to next year. You have never played in the World Games, but I guess we might see you next year at the World Games 2022 in Birmingham. What do you expect from going to the World Games?
Yeah, firstly, I need to be nominated, yes, and it's very difficult to be nominated to the Brazilian national team because there are a lot of good players. But if I get nominated, I expect a great event. I've already been to the World Games in Wrocław, but I didn't play. I just watched it. And it's a nice event. It's I would say like the Olympic Games, and it's one in life opportunity.
Well, I very much hope that we will see you with Team Brazil next year at the World Games 2022 in Birmingham, Alabama. Mateus, thank you very much for the interview. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was an honor. I'm glad to be here.
Bye-bye, and we will see you at the next episode of this. Thank you for watching, and we will be back with a new interview soon. Bye-bye.